Okay. All right, gang. Today is our kind of like our low day. So we do a high-low system. So we have high day Monday, low day Tuesday, high day Wednesday, low day Thursday, and high day Friday. So it's going to be usually like upper body, core, mobility, isometrics, um, accessory type of movements. Nothing that's going to be too hard on the nervous system. I've even started taking out things like bench press just so I can recover better for the high days. Um, yeah, so we're just getting a little mobility roll here. We're going to hit a couple isometrics, mainly for the Achilles and knee, as well as the hamstrings. And then we're going to jump into some tempos today. So something that I've been trying to do for the past little bit here is either jump on the basketball court and shoot around for a little bit, get the heart rate up just a little bit more of a conditioning, as well as more of like an extensive plyometric type of thing. So kind of like tempos, I would say, with light team sport activity like that, or just get on some, or just do some tempos. I kind of had a little hamstring injury last month, so I was doing tempos on Mondays, and it just wasn't an intense enough stimulus, I don't think, to really make adaptations on those high days, like speed adaptations. It wasn't intense enough, and I think it would fit way better on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm just gonna do it today if I'm not playing basketball or anything, which I really haven't been. So, anyways, that was a bit of a ramble, but tempo day. And sometimes we pet the dog. Hey, buddy. Big boy. And then when it comes to doing like hip mobility and stuff, I keep it pretty simple. I go kind of like a mixture of internal external for like a passive drill with those 90-90s or a more passive drill. Then I go for a more internal drill, an external drill, and then kind of like another combo one that's a little bit harder at the end. So this is gonna be like our combo, watch out. All right, that's good there. Real quick, it's time for some ISOs. Oh fuck, I kind of wish I was wearing these shoes right now. Okay, so we got 45 seconds to a minute here per leg. Kind of just going for like some sprain ankle type positions. I was doing them standing, but then I found this was kind of nice, so I've been trying it for the past couple weeks. We'll see how it goes. I think with our ISOs though, we can get more bang for our buck if we do something like this versus just like a leg extension and then like a dedicated calf one. We're kind of getting two birds with one stone here. Okay, this next ISO is foam roller hamstring bridge, but you also get the calves involved as well as the hamstrings. I've been playing around with some different hamstring ISOs. This is by far the best one, I would say. It's all hamstring, no pain. All burn. All right, we're going to do 2 more rounds of that. We'll superset and then hop on the treadmill. All right, guys, so we finished up those ISOs. We had that leg press, kind of quad calf isometric there. Honestly, those should be pretty hard. You should have a good burn by the end. I did kind of an easy first set just to warm everything up. But yeah, you should definitely be struggling. Get some shaking going. It should not be easy. And then same thing with those foam roller hamstring bridges. They should not be easy. You should be getting a pretty good burn in the back of the hamstrings. If you haven't done them before, maybe even some cramps. Not a bad thing at all. It's just waking those muscles up, and it's really good for your tendons. Anyways, let's get these tempos going. We've got 4 80s and then 4 100s. Yeah, let's take this hat off. All right, guys, so this might not be the most exciting type or style of training, but my perspective on how I'm using these lower intensity and even the amount of work I'm doing on my intense days is really starting to change. So in the past, I would have used these low intensity days to do upper body sessions where I did things like heavy bench, pull-ups, and more bodybuilding type of training. Oftentimes taking my sets close to or all the way to failure. And this is really fun for me, but it also was interfering with my recovery. So I'd end up coming into my lower body sessions, my more intense days that are supposed to have a bigger impact on my vert. And I'd be tired and I'd still be fatigued and just under recovered from the previous couple of sessions. And the other thing is I've been dealing with a lot of little aches and pains. And part of that, I think, is because my system as a whole just isn't recovering session to session. So I'm really trying to use the lower days between these more intense vert sessions to build up my base and just keep myself moving well and healthy. And right now that looks like this. It's mobility, it's isos, it's tempos, it's general resistance training that really isn't that hard on the nervous system and that I know for a fact I'm going to be able to recover from. So I'm also trying to keep these sessions as well as my intense sessions a lot more brief. So I'm just spending more time recovering. So basically, if the exercise isn't serving a purpose, as in increasing qualities that will translate to jumping or improving tissue health and capacity, then it's basically just getting taken out of the program. So that's kind of how my perspective is changing, is I'm just trying to get a lot more focused on the vert training. And I think right now my upper body and the hypertrophy gains I've made are great. And maybe I'll come back to that for a couple months every single year. But it's really not a limiting factor in my vertical right now. So it's taking a back seat. All right, guys, tempos are done. Not the most exciting action today, but I just wanted to show you what this lower day looks like, because I think it's kind of confusing, and I've been kind of confused in the past on what should go in this day, what kind of stuff you can do on the slow day. And it doesn't mean it's going to be like an easy day of training. Like the tempos aren't necessarily easy, but it's not going to be as intense like a max velocity sprint, max accelerations, more like heavier barbell compound lifts. But we can still get some good hard work in, and we can still have a good time doing it. But if you're still here, you're a real one. We're gonna finish up with some core stuff and then probably call it a day. I might hit some arms later on. Maybe, maybe not, I'm not really sure. But at the end of the day too, if I go and hit some arms, that's gonna get me back into that working out state. So I'm gonna have to recover. I'm gonna delay my recovery even longer. So it might be better to just not do it.